It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Good evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass on Fox 47. The NBA Finals are a best of three now after Steph Curry carried Golden State to a terrific Game 4 win in Boston. We'll take a long look at one of the best performances in playoff history. The Warriors can win a fourth world championship in 8 seasons. They might need a different Draymond Green than the one who's been AWOL or worse in 3 of the first 4 games. The Stanley Cup final is set. Colorado will face Tampa Bay, the 2-time defending champion, in a best-of-7 stress test for players, coaches, and fans. College football recruiting is on more people's minds than in any June I can remember, and we'll check what Michigan State and Michigan are doing. We'll also take another look at the state's 4 pro teams and top 4 college programs and compare their futures and current leaders. And we have some notable comings and goings. We'll take a look at those in our weekly awards segment. Should be a lot of fun. Here to talk about that and more is Team 454, Rico Beard, longtime Detroit radio and TV personality, recruiting insider, and co-host of The Valenti Show. 97.1 The Ticket. How you doing, Rico?
Jack, I am doing well. Yeah, you're right. A busy weekend. The NBA Finals, Draymond. What happened to him? I mean, this guy used to be, you could count on him for points, but Jack, he's out there giving you triple singles.
Absolutely. Yeah, he is hurting the Warriors more often than not. And, hey, we had the Detroit Tigers in action. They actually won 3 games this week, Rico, but it wasn't pretty in the other 2, and as long as fans had Miggy Celebration Day, they were happy.
No, I was down at the park today, and, yeah, it was great before the game started, and after that, Toronto, it was like 40% Blue Jay fans in that ballpark.
Yeah. I was there yesterday, and I thought it was pretty close to 50-50 in the 9th inning when the Jays were threatening. I tell you what, if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had hit a home run, it would have been crazy in there. We are also joined by Tom Crawford, Blue Belly Tom, my broadcast partner for more than 20 years. He is a regular contributor to thewolverine.com and the creator of the Crawford Podcasting Network. Tom, how are you?
Well, I'm good. You two are down at Comerica this weekend. I probably was not down at Comerica. Maybe when they get, a little bit better than 11 under 500 and drop another series to the Jays, I'll take interest. But a beautiful day. It looked like they're Rico at Comerica before the heat.
We have a ton to talk about, and we will start with the NBA Finals. Up next, here on Press Pass.
Maybe mom and dad were right when they told me this wouldn't be nothing. Or maybe I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. But maybe, baby, this what flying feels like. Maybe, baby, this what flying feels like.
If you like football, Fox 47 is your place for football.
That's right. The new USFL, including our own Michigan Panthers, is going on right now.
Then it's college football in September. Fox has all the big matchups every Saturday.
And of course, Fox 47 is your home for Lions on Sunday.
I'm looking forward to watching the Lions this year.
Me too. And on top of all that, Fox 47 has the Super Bowl in February.
From the USFL to college to the Lions to the Super Bowl, Fox 47 is your home for football.
Why would you watch anywhere else?
Please donate now to the Lansing Promise.
Your gift will help our young people prepare
for their bright futures, because together
we can make dreams come true.
Hi, I'm Patrick with the Holton Diamondale Insurance Agency. We support local businesses like Gravity Smokehouse. We also partner with Auto Owners Insurance. And if you'd like a no-hassle quote for your business, call your hometown team today.
Meet Sarah Grimmer, your Fox 47 neighborhood reporter.
Oh my goodness!
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people, to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Touchdown, Falcons.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Welcome back to Press Pass on Fox 47. It's time for our one and only segment, brought to you by One North Kitchen and Bar on West Saginaw. Voted Lansing's best new restaurant and best sports bar, One North is the one place I take guests for amazing scratch cooking, craft cocktails, and more than 40 TVs to watch every game on every channel. That's One North Kitchen and Bar, where friends and family gather to make good times great.
Needed offense from somebody else, and Wiggins has provided. Gary Payton pokes it away. Payton, the elite defender, off the bench. Curry steps back, three-pointer, got it. Steph Curry, his first three. Curry, another long-distance shot. It's good. Steph Curry. Wiggins looking to post up Tatum. Curry launches a three. It's good. Steph Curry with his third three-pointer. That's what Steve Kerr was so upset with in Game 3. He said we just didn't box out. They got crushed on the boards. Curry. It's good. Steph Curry from downtown.
And maybe some second shots.
Curry again. Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown. He's furious. There was contact there.
That was all created, that space, by an excellent cut by Tatum.
Curry to Payton. Payton had all the time in the world. Curry three-pointer. Puts it in. 33 for Steph Curry. Curry to Green. Back to Curry. Step back. Three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry drills the three. That's a 6-point Warriors lead. Timeout Boston.
I don't think I've seen that many Steph back threes in a long time. Rico, we've seen Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, LeBron James, and Giannis Antetokounmpo carry teams on their back and win NBA titles. Will Curry carry the Warriors to another crown?
Jackie's going to have to, because nobody else is really stepping up for the Warriors, and it'll be a shame if the Warriors don't win this thing, because Steph Curry is doing everything that people said he could not do in the NBA Finals. He's doing it. He just needs somebody else to kind of help him out. But, yeah, right now he is putting this team on his back. He's icing it. Yeah, he is the Warriors and pretty much doing it all by himself.
He did get a career-high 16 rebounds from Andrew Wiggins in Game 4, and that was monumental. Tom, when other NBA players go crazy during a game, it's a sign we're watching something special. What does it mean that Steph's peers posted their love and appreciation?
Well, it's predictable and appropriate. I mean, I just, and I've watched NBA since I was ABC TV with Jack Twyman and Chris Schenkel back in the 60s, okay? I don't ever recall, and this is probably overstating, a team literally putting, a guy putting his team on his back. It was amazing. And that first step at three and the highlights there, I knew something was special going. I mean, he went backwards about 3 feet. I mean, to do that and stay in the flow, I thought he's feeling it tonight. And we were in the first possession of the game. It truly was an amazing performance, and all those threes that we've shown. When you have a defender closing on the other side, right, and he can still nail it and get fouled, that means you're hitting your stride, man, like no other time.
Rico, the first 4 games in the finals have been decided by a total of 57 points, none closer than 10. Are we due for a one-possession game with a buzzer beater in overtime?
Man, you would like to think so, Jack. And I think if that happens, it'll probably happen in Game 7 when everybody will get so much tighter. But yeah, you're right. You can't say it's been a great series because it's tied 2-2, but the games really have gotten out of hand. And with like 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, who's going to win the game? I mean, Boston did come back on that miraculous, I think, like 17-0 run in Game 1. But other than that, it hasn't been what we hoped that it would be.
Tom, let's take a look at Steph's stats in the finals. And to think, some people kept saying he hadn't done enough in postseason play.
Well, this goes back to Gus Ganakis' conversation years ago. He told me one time, if you take 20 shots and you make 20 points, that's like hitting par in golf, okay? Yeah. Steph Curry shot the ball 26 times on Friday night, and he scored 43 points.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows you how good he was in this game. And it goes, he played tremendous defensively and got other people involved, obviously.
Tom, Curry has been the leading scorer in all 4 finals games this year. If he keeps that up and Boston wins it in 7, could Steph be just the second finals MVP on a losing team?
I think he could, and I think I think the Warriors are still going to win somehow in 7. But I think if that did happen, he would get it. And because this is not a vintage Warriors team that he had KD, and he had all the cohorts before. He's more of a not a lone soldier, but it's more on him. And I think what he's accomplished is unbelievable so far.
Rico, the streak with 5 or more threes in a finals game continues. How is that happening when stopping Steph is almost a singular focus for the Celtics?
Because, Jack, his range is half court. So at what point do you simply say, okay, I'm going to wait until he gets a little bit closer, or do you just pick this man up literally from the opposing free throw line? Because he can hit it from any place, and we've seen this happen. And personally, I hope he keeps doing this because I got to bet that he'll hit at least 4 3-pointers in every game that they play.
There you go. Tom, Mark Jackson likes to say, "Mama, there goes that man." Can you see why Steph is on the starting 5 that I would want if my life depended on it, along with Magic, Michael, LeBron, and Hakeem Olajuwon?
Yeah, because they all have that magic ingredient, winning time, and he epitomized that like few others.
We'll be right back.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin to the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Penny, the girl next door. Cool, redefined.
In 1946, Detroit-style pizza was born at Buddy's. With a square steel seasoned pan and handcrafted double-stretch dough that's layered with margarita pepperoni, covered corner to corner with Wisconsin brick cheese, and topped with classic sauce, this is the pizza that started a style. Experience the original 8-square pizza and get another half off with promo code BOGO8.
Greasy pizza boxes.
Ugh, glass bottles not emptied.
Yogurt containers with... Ew!
Michigan needs to recycle better, and that change starts with you. Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
Thank you, Mid-Michigan, for supporting Fox 47 News in your neighborhood. And congratulations to the entire Fox 47 team for winning the most Michigan Association of Broadcaster awards in our history, including Best Reporter Tiana Jenkins.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River in Okemos. With 107 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, go green, go Graf. And he did for most of those 2 games in Boston.
Glad you got the clean version, Jack.
Yeah, really. I was wondering about that, how you were going to do that.
Tom, we heard the fans in TD Garden serenading Draymond with almost as much venom as they have for Kyrie Irving. How much did that have to do with his poor play in games 3 and 4?
Well, I mean, are you asking me, did it cause his poor play?
You think it influenced it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think there were times it did. He just wasn't playing well. I mean, I think I think a lot of times that works for the Warriors over the years. That Draymond, plays the alpha guy and the bully guy, and it galvanizes his team. But I think it worked against his team. I think it was a distraction, and it was distracting his own personal game. We've seen he's been playing horrible to Draymond Green standards or any standards. He hurt his team. He got benched, which was good, and he got mad, but it worked out at the end because he came back in and he contributed. So all worked out at the end for the Warriors.
Gutsy move by Steve Kerr when you have a probable Hall of Famer and you put him on the pine. Rico, it wasn't just Celtics Nation and 90% of the media that unloaded on him. Draymond's mom, Mary Papers Green, couldn't believe what she was seeing. How funny is that?
I think it's hilarious because her phone was probably blowing up, and to put that out there is kind of funny. Even Draymond commented on it, right? Yeah. Hey, he commented on it on his podcast. I mean, look, when mama has no answers to what you're going on, you probably need to get into the practice gym and fix your game a little bit.
Tom, I guess the bottom line is still winning. Green and Klay Thompson each have 100 postseason wins, and their .699 winning percentage is the highest in NBA playoffs history.
You can't argue with that, and there is a special chemistry, and because of those 3, that throw Steph in there. I mean, that's a terrific trio, and I think this could be a turning point moment for Draymond. I mean, I liked what I saw in the post game. He owned it. Looney went in there, and it pissed him off originally, but he saw the light. That Steve Kerr, he was spot on, and this could be that moment that he finishes strong.
Rico, Draymond did play pretty well in game 2, and he played better late in game 4 after the benching. But as we look at the NBA Finals all-time steals leaders, he's moved into 8th place on this list. And look who's number 1 by a lot, a guy who was never considered to be a great defender.
Yeah, that is something, and I don't think Draymond's going to get close to that. Maybe he could pass Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, but yeah, he's never going to touch Magic. And it's kind of funny when you start thinking, well, who's the best defender in the NBA Finals? But Magic was there 9 times or 10 times, so yeah, kind of fitting that it's Magic.
And Rico, the number 1 steals guy in NBA regular season play, again by a lot, is a guy who's roundly criticized for his defense. It's John Stockton. People would never know that, but
you just taught me something.
Career steal. Yeah, and career assists. Tom, your buddy, Tom Izzo, was at Game 2 in San Francisco, and he will be at Game 6 in Boston, along with a contingent of Spartans. But he picked up yet another pal during the playoffs, none other than Michael Jordan. Can you believe that?
Oh, my.
Well, Michael B. Jordan.
I got you. There's a few Michael Jordans out there, quite honestly, Jack.
That's right. And Michael B. Jordan has been a longtime Michigan State basketball fan. A lot of people were not aware of this. Rico, I can see something coming here where maybe for a Midnight Madness, something like that, we get Michael B. Jordan the same way that we did for 300.
I could see that, Jack, or I could even see Mel Tucker bringing him in for a game. Remember from Friday Night Lights that he said that if he were to commit to a college, it would have been Michigan State. Yeah. And, that was pretty big at the time. So, yeah, I could easily see somebody in the athletic department bringing him in for something. Or maybe, Midnight Madness and stick around for homecoming the next day. Just like they did with Gerard Butler.
Exactly. I'm sure they've already thought of it, Rico, but if not, it'll be the beer doubling plan. We'll take full credit when it happens. We will be right back, and we're going to talk about the Tigers, all that's going on with Miggy and others.
The great experiences you have in here and even out here all started here, because the best customer experience always leaves a great impression. GMC, awarded #1 in sales satisfaction by J.D. Power. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models. We are professional grade GMC.
Hi, I'm Michelle Strauss with the Capital Area College Access Network, or CAPCAN for short. We're excited to celebrate the graduating class of 2022. If you need help figuring out your plans for college, certificates, or apprenticeships, we have advisors available to assist you with your applications, scholarships, and financial aid. Visit us at capcan.org or email us at collegequestions@capcan.org to schedule an appointment. We're so proud of you as you launch into your future.
Check out Things to Do with Tiana Jenkins at fox47news.com.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards, because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
Yeah, so I have some unfortunate news with Casey. He's going to undergo Tommy John surgery. And the story of this is unfortunate for everybody, but the tests leading up, he still doesn't have a torn ligament. Dr. Meister in Dallas has diagnosed him with a stretched ligament that's lost its elasticity and functionality inside his elbow. So any of the exams that we've had has shown an intact ligament, which is true. But the symptoms continued to recur, and that's what we had a different, we call it, I think, a stress MRI, where they put his arm in a different position and see it from a different angle, and Dr. Meister saw that he had Tommy John surgery. So that'll be scheduled pretty soon. I don't have an exact date, but I'm very sad for Casey, for the work he's put in, and for the ultimate diagnosis.
Did you talk to him?
AJ Hinch, Tigers manager, delivering the bad news. Tom, Pedro Martinez predicted 2 years ago that Casey Mize would need Tommy John surgery, watching him throw. How big a blow is it for a 25-year-old former #1 overall pick to be sidelined until 2024? And why do the Tigers keep getting so many arm injuries?
I don't know. 4 of those 5 starters, it's the start of the season, have been on the IL at one point. The Casey Mize thing, we talked about it, guys. I mean, the last couple of years, everybody said, hell, his mechanics are so bad, he's going to have some kind of surgery. And Tommy John surgery is, they get it right when they fix it, but it takes a couple of years. Not saying it's like getting your tonsils out, but I'm sure his career is not over, but very unfortunate for a team that rides on pitching with no hitting.
Rico, taking a look at a comparatively light week, just 5 games, how did Detroit go 3-2, getting all its victories by 2 runs and being bludgeoned twice by Toronto?
Well, because when you played Toronto Blue Jays, you played a good team. When you played the Pittsburgh Pirates, you play a team that's pretty much just like you are. So they go to Pittsburgh, they win 2 games. Congratulations. It's like, 2 bad teams beating each other. A win's a win. You never apologize for it, Jack, but you saw the difference when they played a real major league team in the Blue Jays. And as far as Casey Mize, hey, congratulations. We will see him in 2024 because they kind of waited too long to get this surgery done.
12 runs for the week, guys, for the Tigers in 5 games. So, 2.6. They were averaging 2.8. That's just about the norm. Tom, it was Miggy Celebration Day this afternoon. A good crowd at Comerica Park. And for a lot of fans, was that more than enough?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that surprise visit. Victor Martinez comes out, and, that probably was the big carrot to come out. Beautiful day, though, before we're going to hit this heat coming up here. And Scubo's pitching, okay? So, you got your best pitcher. But all of a sudden, 4 innings in, that's 4-0, game over. Because when the Tigers get down 2-0, let alone 4-0, they're not coming back. The game is over, and I think people are just getting a suntan. A lot of Blue Jay fans, as Rico was mentioning earlier.
Guys, the ESPN box scores just use players' first initials and last names. And Tom, you'll appreciate this. When you see A. Meadows and J. Baez in the lineup, you almost wonder why they're playing Audrey Meadows and Joan Baez. Rico, as we look at Baez's incredibly disappointing stat line, why hasn't he played anywhere close to the $25 million a man he's supposed to be?
I mean, he kind of, because Jack, when you look at Javi Baez, he starts off, he has these streaks where he's just god awful, but then he turns it around and he'll have a month where he's just knocking the cover off the ball. Now, he came and told AJ that, he wasn't seeing the ball well. I don't think AJ necessarily wanted him to tell that to the media, but he sat of some games.
Yeah.
I got a feeling he's going to have a hot month or a hot couple of weeks. He'll balance this thing out. But right now it's buyer's remorse.
He went into yesterday's game, guys, with six walks and 50 strikeouts. He walked 3 times. 1/3 of his total for the year came yesterday. He actually got a standing ovation after the third base on balls. Tom, I said this was the latest I could remember going to a Tigers home game. But I finally did that yesterday, joining my friends for 7 decades. Marty Makinen and Sam Silverman, 2 guys you know. Tom, what did it take for you to get to Comerica this summer?
Perfect weather and maybe a 12-game winning streak.
We'll be right back.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hardworking folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as the side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Don't miss an all-new MasterChef, Wednesday on Fox.
Hiring now. Immediate job openings today. Get paid top dollar while working in a rewarding trade. Team up with a company where you're valued and can be a part of the home building and remodeling industry. Secure your job today with a fulfilling career. HBALansing.com.
Stop by the Loaves and Fishes Community Yard Sale, June 23rd through the 25th at 831 North Sycamore in Lansing. Thursday will feature community resources along with great yard sale items. And on Friday, the La India Mexicana food truck will be on site. If you've always wanted to give back to your community, this event might be perfect for you. All proceeds of the yard sale will go towards guests who will be moving out on their own. Check out loavesandfisheslansing.org for more details and find out more about this amazing community establishment or resource.
Find out which deals are too good to be true, where and when to find the biggest savings, and the latest scams designed to drain your bank account. Watch Don't Waste Your Money Monday on Fox 47 News.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Lansing's Best segment, brought to you by the Greater Lansing Sports Authority. Bring thousands of athletes and teams to Mid-Michigan for dozens of tournaments and special events. Hats off to everyone at the GLSA for showing just what this area can be.
Everybody wants to know what Coach Tucker's going to do next. Everybody.
Next step 23. That's the incoming class they're working on right now. Tom, MSU's had some good football teams and a few excellent ones over the past 55 years. But with the buzz and the aura around Mel Tucker's program now, is this the first time you can recall Spartan football has been borderline sexy in more than a half century?
You know, it's funny you bring that up. I was talking to some old Spartans at a Bill Faracco birthday party, number 75 on over at Michigan State's campus on Friday night, and they're talking about how pleased they are the fact that Michigan State is recruiting nationally, and they're in the hunt for all these prominent games that they can never relate. You know, 60 years ago, you know, it was Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Michigan. You know what the footprint was back then. Now it's nationally. Sure. I think recruiting and player personnel procurement, I'll call it, is so diverse with so many moving parts. It's a big, big topic of everybody's discussion. The Rico Beards of the world eat this stuff up every day.
We had Saeed Khalif on the Drive with Jack last week, and you could see why Michigan State would be appealing when people talk with him. Rico, I want to talk about 3 more 4-star pledges this week and get your thoughts on each one, starting with Texas cornerback Chance Rucker.
Chance Rucker, I mean, Jack, he's that new prototypical cornerback, 6'2", so he can cover the big receivers. He's got the speed. He's got coming from the state of Texas. You know, that's a hotbed of just talent. So I think Michigan State struck gold when they got Tucker. I mean, yeah, chance to come in and, yeah, big 6'2" corner. Now he can go up against the big receivers.
Tucker took a chance on Rucker. I guess we can say that.
Yeah, Rucker.
What about Tennessee receiver Demetrius Bell, Rico?
This is a guy who can catch the ball. He has speed. This is something that Coach Hawk really is looking for. He wants fast guys. He wants almost like Jaden Reed prototypes and clones, guys who could make the big play, and they feel that way with Demetrius Bell.
Finally, at least finally, as of the time we tape this show tonight, what about a guy I thought might wind up at Michigan or Alabama from IMG, Florida linebacker Jordan Hall?
I'm going to say this, Jack, and you can write it down. That's a future captain of the team right there. This guy is a legitimate 6'4". He is everything. This isn't one of the stats where you just kind of pad it. He's there. I think he is going to be a difference maker. He's going to be that leader that you want on the defense. And I think that he's going to pick up the phone and get a lot of other people to join him in this Spartan class.
Tom, sometimes fans lose sight that the opponents are recruiting players too. And we can expect Ohio State, certainly, Michigan and Penn State are going to have outstanding recruiting classes, top 10 classes. But as we look at MSU's first 9 pledges, we see 6 4-stars, whatever that's worth, with many more could be coming in that category. Roughly a third of the 23 class accounted for. Why does MSU already have more elite players than we saw last year or in the 3 years combined before that?
And just real quickly, I feel like with Rico, I'm Alan True on the Big Ten Network, man. He's really good at this stuff, rolling this content off here. But,
thank you.
Okay, Michigan State. Let's be real with Mel Tucker. It's Scott versus Mark D'Antonio. Okay, it's just got a different feel to it. It's like we're going to go out and get some dudes under Mel Tucker, and it's got Michigan people won't admit it. I'm admitting it. It's got people's attention. Now maybe I get twisted up in the fact that they're 9th in the country in rivals, and Michigan is like 29th, and maybe I shouldn't take that too seriously right now. But Michigan State is getting it done with recruiting, and we know what Mel did with a portal. So yeah, it's got people's attention. They're doing well.
Michigan State has never had more than 2 5-stars in a year. They could have a couple this year. They've never had a dozen 4-stars in one class. It seems likely. Tom, the Wolverines, fans might be getting a little antsy, but they can calm down. I'm sure they're going to add a lot of good prospects. One they won't get is Saline quarterback C.J. Carr, seen here with Grandpa Lloyd, Hall of Fame coach in Ann Arbor. Why is Carr motoring to Notre Dame?
Well, probably get away from all the nonsense of Michigan fans. I mean, I was disappointed in Michigan fans. We all knew he was going to Notre Dame. I mean, that was the worst kept secret. And first of all, I find it a little strange that 2024 kids are already announcing. I just don't understand that. I've never gotten that. Why would you commit right now? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense for the school. Doesn't make any sense for the player from my standpoint. But I think he'll do outstanding. Notre Dame's a great school. I don't have any bitterness to it. You want to follow the legend of Lloyd Carr, make your own legacy. And Dante Moore, maybe he's looming out there, or JJ McCarthy another year. I don't know all the factors involved, but it doesn't matter because it's what the kid wants. And what the kid wants is what I want.
How uncomfortable did Lloyd Carr look with that Notre Dame hat on?
He looked pretty good.
He said, "I'm only doing this because you're my favorite grandson."
Yeah. Tom, when one door closes, another one opens. Does Carr's decision mean that Detroit phenom Dante Moore is headed to U of M?
Well, I mean, he's a 23 kid. At least that's more tangible. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. And you know what, Jack and Rico, and I'm sincere when I say this. I don't even get caught up in recruiting. When camp opens, after Big Ten Media Day, and when camp opens, and who is there, then I get excited about who's coming. I don't even get excited about recruiting anymore. It's just the decommitments, the portal, the whole bit. It's a moving target. You're asking the wrong person.
And you got JJ McCarthy, so life is great for you, Tom.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's why I'm happy.
Well, you guys will go like 18-0 this year.
One player that MSU and U of M want is Texas edge rusher Eno Etta. I thought he might be headed to East Lansing, but some U of M sites seem awfully confident the Wolverines are going to land him. Where does Etta wind up?
That's going to be, I think he's going to end up probably picking something in the next few weeks, Jack. I think he's open, but I know Mom is loving the school right now. She's loving Michigan State.
We'll be right back in just a moment.
Got an old car, wrecked car, or a junk car? We pay cash for these cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, whether they are running or not. Towing is available. Call us today for a quote or click to submit a quote online. Put some cash in your pocket.
Hi, I'm Pat with the Holton Dimondale Insurance Agency. My family has served this local community for over 60 years. We built strong relationships on trust and value. We're also proud partners with Automotive Insurance. We'd like to connect with you. Call your hometown team today.
Okay, who's ready for some science? Rock, paper, scissors, slither, spot. Rock, paper, scissors, slither, spot. Cool. Rock, paper, scissors, slither, spot. Rock, paper, scissors, slither, spot.
Hello, Lolo.
You dog!
Ow. Sticky wicket, sticky wicket, sticky wicket.
That was beautiful.
The Big Bang Theory, 5 nights a week.
Weeknights at 6:30, 7:30, and 11 on Fox 47. Watch Good Neighbors with Bob Hoffman, Friday only on Fox 47 News at 10.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs. There you see Detroit's 4 major pro teams, the records in their most recent season and their last appearance in a World Series conference championship game. And Lions have got a lot of work to do here. Rico, based on rank from most likely to no chance in my lifetime that they'll either be in the ALCS, the NFC title game, or the NBA or NHL conference finals.
Jeez, Jack. Okay, this is down the line because I don't see anybody getting there within the next 4 years. So take this with a grain of salt. I still say the Pistons only because it's a smaller team. So if Pistons do well in this upcoming draft, along with Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, they may have enough to get themselves to the Eastern Conference Final. You got to look at what Steve Yzerman is doing with the Wings and the Yzer plan. You trust in him. You look what's going on with the Lightning. You think that can happen. The Lions and the Tigers, they're tied for dead last for me. And you know what? How bad is it when the Lions rank higher than the Tigers? Because I think the Tigers are a complete grease fire.
All right, Tom. What about the teams? As U of M and MSU football and Spartans and Wolverines basketball, and we check out their records, the most and the Final Four. The teams that won 4 combined in 2020. Last year only lost 4 games, went 23 and 4. But as you look at those 4 teams, Tom, rank them in order of most likely to not going to happen.
Well, I'm gonna go with the order that most likely it happens: Michigan football, then Michigan State, and then for some reason, I think Izzo's got something left in him before he's going to get back there. And so I'll go, and then Michigan basketball last. As far as the chances of getting to the pinnacle of Final Four.
Yeah. You think that Michigan football is the most likely of the 4, though, right?
I do. I know Rico's going to roll his eyes and think I'm a homer, but I truly believe that.
No, Tom, I've already cast my Heisman Trophy vote for J.J. McCarthy. Jack is coming in the mail.
I'm glad that
he's going to win the Heisman.
Resonated.
I don't even need to see him play. He's just that good. Yeah,
he is that good. Take my word for it. Take my word for it.
He was so great last year. Wait, that was Cade McNamara that led them. I'm sorry, got the quarterbacks wrong.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There are a lot more teams in college basketball than college football, but isn't it easier to make the Final Four than it is to make the football 4, Rico?
No, I think, Jack, here's the thing. In the Big Ten, if you could beat Ohio State, you will get to the Final Four. Yeah. It really comes down to that. Yep. Michigan did it last year. They beat the Buckeyes. When Michigan State went, they beat the Buckeyes. If you beat Ohio State and you win the Big Ten, you're in the college football playoffs.
All right. Rico, let's take a look at Detroit's 4 pro coaches. We don't know who's going to succeed Jeff Blashill with the Red Wings, so we have a question mark there. But can you rank the other 3 in terms of who you'd want in charge of your franchise?
Who I want in charge, I would want A.J. Hinch. I think he's probably the best thing. Detroit lucked into him because of that whole Houston Astros thing. Dan Campbell's going to have to sell me. I know everybody's all big on him. I just think that he's a lot of talk. I need to see him win. But I think A.J. Hinch is probably the best thing that Detroit has right now.
What about Dwayne Casey? And you need to watch a little more Hard Knocks, I think.
I don't, because all he is a soundbite. But in the end, you won, 3 games? So, yeah, I don't really care about all the kneecaps and let's get a lion around. Who cares? Win games. Casey, yeah, I like what Casey is doing. I don't know if he'll be around long term to really get the success of what the Pistons are going to bring.
All right, Tom, let's break down the 4 coaches. We're talking about Jim Harbaugh, Mel Tucker, Tom Izzo, and Juwan Howard. How would you rank them? 1 to 4.
Why do you ask me this stuff? I'm going to go with Mel Tucker right now as staying in the moment. Staying in the moment. I'm going to go Mel Tucker 1, and then I'm going to go with Jim Harbaugh, and then I'm going to go with Izzo, and then I'm going to go with Juwan. How's that for MSU diplomacy here?
See, I thought you were going to go with Jim, a guy named Harbaugh, khaki pants, and who's got it better than us. There you go.
I'm just messing with you with those rankings, by the way.
I'm amazed that you would say Mel Tucker over your man Tom Izzo. But
he was unbelievable. I mean, I don't even think they have to show up, and they're going to the national championship this year. I mean, they got all those fancy cars in the middle of Spartan Stadium, and
I mean,
it's
they
crazy.
could beat Michigan.
Maybe they can start driving them out to
crowd,
Pasadena.
no crowd, pandemic. They beat Michigan.
All right, we will be right back with our weekly awards, our Cool and Smooth segment up next.
As children grow up, they face a lot of choices. Choices that affect their future or determine their character. Families can support their choices with a Met Prepaid Education Savings Program, where you pay for future education at today's prices. It's a safe, secure way to give them a debt-free start, or get back at least what you put in, often more, if they choose a different path. Because you can't predict the future, but you sure can prepare for it.
American Home Shield is a home service plan provider that helps cover the costs when parts of your home systems and appliances wear out. It can help relieve the stress and anxiety of unexpected breakdowns. If a contractor determines the covered item is not repairable, American Home Shield will replace it. I am a proud American Home Shield member, and that's why I always recommend it to my clients. Now, it's your turn.
For a free quote, call 800-570-7159.
Niecy Nash hosts Don't Forget the Lyrics, all new Mondays on Fox.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by 4 great Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Okemos North and South, North Lansing, and West Lansing. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. We had a very busy week here in mid-Michigan and beyond, and we didn't even have a chance to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs. And a Play of the Week candidate, Steven Stamkos, yesterday getting his second goal of the game for the Tampa Bay Lightning. That turned out to be a series ender against the Rangers, and they'll go on and play the Avalanche. All right, Team 454, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week. Rico, let's start with you in our Play of the Week.
Jack, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. Steven Stamkos getting that second goal, sending the Lightning to another Stanley Cup final. Seems like that's just like death in taxes. Man, I could pick any of Steph Curry's shots, but Jack, it's rare. It is rare that I see something that happens in recruiting that I've never seen before. That happened today. Jordan Hall, IMG linebacker, committed to Michigan State, stopped his official visit and held a press conference right there on the campus. Mel Tucker's in the background saying, I'm going to Michigan State. I've never seen this before. Like, wow. I guess this is the new age of how things are getting done. But when it's something I've never seen before, I'm going to give you the play of the day.
Yeah, I got that word last night, Rico, and I said, what? Can't be, but it was. So he won't be the last. Tom Crawford, what about our Team of the Week?
Yeah, that was an impulse purchase, like buying a pack of gum, right? Yeah, I'm going to Michigan State. Anyways, hey, when I go local, Jack, when I have an opportunity to go local on my teams of the week, I'm going to go local. And this, you know what this time of the year is. A lot of high school teams are finishing up championships. Lansing Christian at Forest Acres West boys golf team, they shot a record 304. They won by 24 strokes to be crowned state champions. I want to give them a team of the week, but also honorable mention, Puama Westphalia beat Lansing Catholic in the quarterfinals. And so they move on to the semifinals. And last but not least, the Williamson soccer team, the girls soccer team advanced. They won a regional crown over Flint Powers, a very good high school athletic program. So our locals did very good this weekend. They're teams of the week for me.
Thank you very much, Tom, for our local all sports update. I appreciate that. And Tom, you watch a little softball. Did you see any of the College World Series with Oklahoma and Jocelyn Allo?
Oh.
You know, I stop what I'm doing to watch when she comes to the plate.
I'll tell you what, I love track and field. I watched that this weekend, but women's softball they're amazing athletes. It's not, even when Michigan checks out, and they checked out early, I still watch the NCAA women's softball. They're just unbelievable athletes.
All right, it is time for our players of the week. And I want to start with a new softball coach at Michigan State, and that is Sharonda McDonald Kelly. And she has an Ohio State background. She's been lots of places, and she was a phenomenal 4-year player, at NCAA record for stolen bases when she was at Texas A&M, but it brings some new energy to the program, and Alan Haller very excited about that hire. But comings and goings, we said, and after 22 years in the Michigan State program, a guy who you see here at Northern Michigan sitting alongside Tom Izzo as the backcourt nation captain.
Oh, my God.
With the Wildcats, Mike Garland, and he's had 16 Big Ten titles, and he has 7 Final Fours. At a goodbye announcement, you can read that online, and he and Izzo have an amazing relationship. Lots of hugs on the sidelines for those two, and he will be missed. I want to thank Tom Crawford and Rico Beard. We'll see you next week on Father Day.